We work together as a team totally throughout the process. So as a team with our client, but also with our vendors. And if our vendors are coming together and working with us, we all look good and the client is getting everything that they want and need. So it's really important that the vendors that we're working with primarily are going to be self-sufficient and know what they're doing, but also can take direction for what the client wants and can be flexible. So that's key. If we didn't have Media Solutions as a vendor partner, I think that I would be spending a lot more time on some of the logistics that we have to work out. Some of our events are quite challenging, and we throw that at Media Solutions and put it all out on the table, and then they make sure it happens. If that wasn't there for me, then I'd probably have to spend a lot more of the time that I spend on other things on those items that I need to work out, and that's not something that I would like to do. The great thing about Media Solutions is that they communicate well with us. If there's an issue on our end or an issue on their end, we can talk to each other about it. Communication is ultimately the goal. But also they're really creative and they have a wonderful staff of knowledgeable people behind them to execute these interesting concepts. So I would tell anybody about it, whether they're competing or not. I've worked with Media Solutions for several years now, and they've done a lot of pretty big events with us. The great thing about it is that I can go to Media Solutions and I can say, you know, I have this kooky idea that I want to make a 55-foot long chandelier out of trellises and hang 1,000 crystals on it. And they look at me funny and then they say, we'll work on that. And then after getting together, we come on the same page. I give them some of my creative ideas and then they come up with their creative ideas on how to execute the process. And it just comes together really, really nicely. We work well together and they're very flexible and know their stuff. And the great thing is that we don't need to stress about the information that we're providing them. Because it's a trusted vendor, we can say this is what we're looking for, this is when we need it, and we know that they're going to execute it. So that leaves me to have to worry about other more important things, not that that's not important, but other more important things that maybe are going to be a little bit less known up front. So we can just go to Media Solutions, say, I need, you know, X, Y, and Z, and I can trust that they're just going to execute it the way I want. And if becomes an issue at some point down the road, then I know I can go to them and say, no, I need this changed, and they're right on it. That chandelier was it was an engineering feat, so to say. We were in a location that really wasn't pretty. It had a suspended track and rail ceiling, and it was a lot of weight. I mean, 55-foot long chandelier we're talking about here. And when I originally went to them, they said, I don't think that we can make it happen. And you know what? I said, I know you can make it happen because you've done it before. And not necessarily specifically that, but they've come up with really creative and innovative ways to solve my design problems, so to speak. So I went to them and I said, I know we can do this. We put our heads together, had many meetings about it, and we ended up executing it, and it was breathtaking when you walked into that room to see this long, gorgeous chandelier and know that it is something that would have never been done before. I love Vinnie and Morgan. They're like my brothers, my ex-boyfriends, my husbands. They're wonderful, wonderful people. And I know that I can be completely upfront and honest with them about anything. And what's really great is that when we're working with vendors like Media Solutions, I go to those events and I'm having fun. Even though I'm working maybe a 16-hour day, I'm having fun because I'm with people that I've developed not only a business relationship with, but also a personal relationship with. And ultimately, that's going to show in the work that we both create because we trust each other, because we think that each other does great work, but also we have a lot of fun. So we don't take each other too seriously. Our job is very important, but ultimately it's about making sure that we're a team and working for the better good of the client. So everybody is on a budget of some sense. Now, it could be a $20,000 budget and it could be a $400,000 budget, but ultimately everybody is on a budget. So I try and budget reasonably for the vendor so that I know that the vendor is going to get paid what they need to get paid. But also I have to keep in mind that the client is only going to have so much money. So there's that nice go-between there where I need to say, well, yes, we can do that. No, we can't do that. Or if I do have an issue, I can always go to Media Solutions and say, look, I need this to change, or we need to work out some other way of solving this issue so that it can fit into the client's budget. Media Solutions was actually a referral to us from another vendor. And so we gave it a shot and we worked with them on one of our pretty large events, and we had a great working relationship. We love working with them because they're very flexible and they can take some of my crazy creative ideas and really implement them the way that we need to. So when we're looking for a vendor, we will ask other vendors for referrals, or it's just a matter of maybe we've run across them with an event that we've done with a client and we liked what they did, so then we're going to refer them again. I've worked with Media Solutions for several years now, and they've done a lot of pretty big events with us. The great thing about it is that I can go to Media Solutions and I can say, you know, I have this kooky idea that I want to make a 55-foot long chandelier out of trellises and hang 1,000 crystals on it. And they look at me funny and then they say, we'll work on that. And then after getting together, we come on the same page. I give them some of my creative ideas and then they come up with their creative ideas on how to execute the process. And it just comes together really, really nicely. We work well together and they're very flexible and know their stuff.